Hey, everybody, welcome to Nerd at Heart, episode 4.
Hello.
Oh, I'm your host, Adrian, and along with me is...
I'm Patrick, his co-host, and together we are Nerd at Heart.
Try to get that together. All right. So we've got a lot of information to share today, and we're going to try to squeeze it into the hour, and maybe we'll even talk a little bit about what's going on. But first is our top story, and our top story is the passing of the man, the legend, James Earl Jones, who passed away September 9th, unfortunately. Obviously, both of us are highly impacted by his work.
Huge fans of his work.
But, that's everybody, right? James Earl Jones was the voice of not just one generation, but multiple generations. I mean, for, from the 70s, I mean, even prior to the 70s. Which at this point, I don't think anybody hasn't seen him on Big Bang Theory, because that seems to be, especially seeing, we got the Carrie Fisher scene.
Oh yeah, I mean it's iconic at this
point. Her,
Yeah, and then just his laugh in the background. Then why am I laughing? I mean, it's just at this point, James Earl Jones is a household name. I mean, in one way, shape, or form, like. He became a household name. Like I said, whether you knew him from comedy, whether you knew him from Disney, or whether you knew him from Star Wars. I mean,
well, I was just thinking about this myself, because, we, what was it? I grew up, I mean, so not just Star Wars, but you got to remember, so in 1982, they came out with Conan the Barbarian, and Conan the Barbarian, I mean, he plays the cult leader, and I'm trying to remember his name. I typically do, but hey, typically it's not happening right now. So,
I mean, like we're saying, though, he's iconic. He, passed away at 93. He lived a very well-loved life. I mean, he was, all the stories is that he was an amazing person to work with. He was an amazing human being. Just a tip-top person, absolutely somebody you could grab lunch with. He'd give you an autograph, You
hear, I mean, I tell you what, like a couple of points. One, I was actually just thinking about, so, because we're going to do an in memoriam to him, or at least, or try to do something just to talk about the impact he had.
Yeah, and just to pay tribute to, again, what an amazing person he was.
And I was telling, so I remember, like, I was, Patrick and I were sitting next to each other when he saw the news. I mean, when it just broke.
Oh, yeah.
And, and I could see that Patrick was taken aback. I mean, I was too. I mean, I'm a bit of a pragmatic kind of person, but at the same time, he was the voice of my childhood, and and I talked about, like, some of the things I used to watch him in, and like one of the old hokey horror movies that I saw him in one time, when I was younger, from the 70s, and then just kind of thinking about that voice is technically not going to be around anymore.
I know. Such an iconic voice at that.
But yeah, we will talk about. I keep thinking about what I was telling you the other day, and gosh, I remember having that conversation when I was young, speaking about, like, the powerful voice that James Earl Jones had, booming, resonant, deep. And having a conversation with my mom, and she said, "Oh, him and Sean Connery to get my blood boiled," and I was like, "Nah." I was probably like 11 or 12 at the time.
Yeah,
you definitely didn't want to hear that. You're like, no. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, you Get it? So, yeah, it's sad to see him go, but
again, he lived such a very long, well-lived life at that. I
yeah,
mean, he was 93. Just overall a great, great life from a great man.
the man has definitely left a legacy. Now, speaking of something that, or at least not leaving the best legacy, is the Acolyte.
Yes, yes. That at the moment, as everyone knows, it was canceled by Disney August 20th. So as of the time that we are doing this video, the Acolyte has had a fan petition to try and get Disney to revoke that decision, to continue the story, to continue what they had going on. It seems like that petition has kind of stalled. It's been about 22 days. We've had, it's been slow moving, but nothing really of note. Last we've checked, it's a little under 75,000 signatures that have, done this. Now we have to remember the Star Wars fan base is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's international. It spreads across, race, country, religion, sex, creed, to the point where it's welcoming to everyone. Now, this has been a petition that people have known about. Multiple articles have been written about it. And again, it's been 3 weeks. I mean, it's been 22 days.
Yeah, no, sorry. I mean, that's what we were talking about. I mean, I told him, I said, as, I get this little feed, like whenever I'm doing a hashtag, or adding or something to a video. And I mean, the Star Wars tag alone produces like somewhere around in the neighborhood of millions of results.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not just like, oh, it's one. No, like millions. Like I could go as far as to even believe it might be 109 million different references to it on YouTube alone. And here it is after, the better part of a month, sitting at 74,000, which really just goes to prove that it was just not financially viable for Disney to continue on with a series that the avid fan base, when stirred, can muster just over 74,000 signatures.
Exactly. I mean, because at this point, you have to understand, like I said, multiple articles have been written about this. People are, putting this, article wherever they can, this form to change Disney's decision. The petition's been put on Reddit, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter. I mean, everywhere, Facebook. And at this point, again, Star Wars is international. You're telling me it's been 3 weeks and only a little under 75,000 have signed this? Goes to show the fan base does not want to continue it.
Well, and that's the thing, because the article's author, Eric Kane, basically, put up just a comparison, and it said, and he put here, the petition to restore deleted scenes in Bridgerton's 3rd season was over 75,000 signatures.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, let's face it, I think that overall the fan base for Bridgerton versus Star Wars as an IP, Star Wars is going to win out. So, yet Bridgerton is definitely winning, in terms of, the number of signatures. So, and unfortunately, it's not going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because as we've discussed before, and, is that next year, there's a whole slew of releases in the paper side of Star Wars.
Yes, there is.
And then Patrick found something this morning, so we wanted to share it.
Yeah. So what it is basically, it goes to show that while Disney did cancel the Acolyte, they have not abandoned that part of the timeline completely. as what is coming is now it's going to be books, it might be some comics, and so what has been announced is going to focus majoritively on Vernestra Rowe, and apparently in Master Indara, who's played by Carrie Ann Moss, from the Matrix series. And it's going to be called Star Wars Acolyte: The Wayseeker. Now, it looks like it could be a good book. I believe it's going to retail for $30. You can find it at your major retail stores, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million, Walmart, Target, so on and so forth. It's going to be about, I believe, 400 pages. But you've got to see the cover art for this. Now again, this cover is not final, but again, this is what it's majoritively going to look like. As you can tell, like, it looks somewhat cheap. It looks kind of like AI might have had a hand in it. Personally, I don't know if that's the case or not, but it does go to show that, while they're trying to keep it going, I don't think they're putting as much resources into it anymore. I think Disney is definitely cutting its losses. I think they are saying that, this has already cost us so much money. We're not going to continue doing this because of what it is. And again, that goes to show the fan base, like we just discussed with the petition, just doesn't want it.
Yeah, they've made all of these plans, and unfortunately, I think Disney tends to be a little bit, they sometimes keep things a little too close to the vest, when it comes to, like, what are we doing? Because we've talked about that with some of the collectible figures and these books in particular, because and like we said, I think in the previous episode when we discussed actually like the books that are coming out, they have a young adult novel with Jackie and Yard, the characters who are slaughtered in episode 5.
Yeah.
Why? Who is this for? It's like,
exactly.
Oh boy, I love dead people.
I want to read about 2 Padawans. Well, at the time of the book, they'll both be Padawans. When Yord passes, he's a Jedi Knight. But at the same time, we know what happens to them. What is so important that I need to read about them when they're younger?
He gets a nice little snap at the neck, and she gets poked full of holes.
Yeah, she gets, shredded basically with a lightsaber. And Yord gets John Wick neck snapped. It just really goes to show that they've put into a lot of different, too many eggs into this basket. I really feel like whether Disney truly does need to scale back on Star Wars, because overall, the Acolyte cost $180 million. And as we just discussed with this petition, where's the want? Where's the want to see it renewed? Where's the want to see the continuation?
There is at least one good news for the Acolyte.
Yes, there is one good thing coming out of the Acolyte. Manny Jacinto is being nominated for People's Sexiest Man of the Year. And for all intents and purposes, Manny deserves it, man. And, me and Carter have said this multiple times that, Manny Jacinto truly was one of the best things to come out of the Acolyte. Yeah,
I'll agree to that. His character, his portrayal, and all of this, that's the criteria I'm judging it on.
Yeah.
But there's a slew of other people that judge it on a more hunky stud kind of criteria. But yeah, I'm like, the acting was good, the swimming, the portrayal of a torn, a character just wanting to have his freedom, from his clothes.
Yeah, and again, from his clothes, but in all seriousness, Manny Jacinto deserves this. I'm glad, like you said, man, something good is coming out of it. His acting was good, his portrayal was amazing. I mean, he exuded danger. He exuded, you know, the Sith Lord vibe, whatever you want to call it in that regard. And he did a great job with it. I mean, he did a great job with it.
So, but, you know, that being said, you know, I was fine with that. And we actually talked about, because, again, you know, you being more of a collector than I am, because the only thing that you said that they don't have set to release for the Acolyte, like they've got a Jackie, they've got Osha.
Yeah.
You know,
Osha,
and May, which technically should just be one character with a change of clothes.
Yeah.
You know, but not only that, but they have Osha and May, but the only one that they don't have a character for or a figure planned is for the Stranger.
Yeah, no,
you know?
He has not been mentioned. He hasn't been seen in any type of scale.
Yeah.
And that's any place that makes collectible figurines. All we've seen from Disney is a helmet. They made his helmet, and that's it. That's it. I mean, I'm hoping personally, you know, let's get a Stranger kind of collectible. Let's get, you know, that in the pipeline. I mean, let's see something for him, from him, you know, to show off. I mean, what an amazing character that was. I mean, again, like I said, Manny Jacinto deserves all the praise he can get for his portrayal.
And you, I mean, that's the thing, you know, you could tell by the fact that even at some of the conventions already, people have already started portraying the Stranger, you know, in cosplay form.
Oh yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's so that therefore there is some, if anything out of the Acolyte, you got something with Manny Jacinto.
Oh yeah.
And maybe there's something that you could still build upon there. But as of right now, I mean, there's no evidence to show that the Acolyte is going to go any further than that, other than what is already planned, what already needs to get pushed away and done because it's already in the pipeline. But there are other things in the pipeline.
Yeah. Did you want to show off the thing you made for Manny?
Oh, didn't I show that last time?
We can show it again, because I mean, hey, he's probably gonna be the sexiest man. I mean, Manny, are you okay with this?
There you go.
Are you good with being portrayed as, you know, sexiest man of the year for the cover? You okay, man?
There you go. Well, I think, because last time he was saying he's gonna make it his life goal.
Life goal is
to bring the Acolyte back.
2.
But I'm sure he'll just settle for the Stranger if that's what he gets.
Oh yeah. I mean, and again, he's a great guy. But again, like I was talking about earlier, you know, this does lead us into the thinking that Bob Iger has said that Disney is going to start cutting back on series across the board.
Yeah.
Now, that's just not Star Wars, that's also Marvel, but it seems to be affecting Star Wars first. What we've heard is Ahsoka season 2 has been delayed. So now this is, of course, happening because we had the actor strike, we had the writer strike, you know, delays happened. A lot of people are catching up, you know, going back to work, making TV shows, movies, scripts. But apparently production is not even going to begin until the summer of 2025.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we still have, I mean, that's the rest of this year and the first half of 25.
We talked about some other things, because we were wondering, you know, I think we had made kind of the assumption that there was already some production going on. But then, you know, I was like, wait a second, if there had been production, I mean, then why haven't they announced who's replacing Ray Stevens?
Yeah.
Stevenson. You know, because, you know, that's a big point for the new series, and possibly leading into some sort of overarching storyline.
Yeah.
You know, given some of the, you know, rumors and things that could be he could be leading towards. You know, but, you know, Filoni could very well be, well, anyways, okay, because he could be doing a bait and switch.
Yeah.
But not that he would do anything like that.
No.
You know, that would be, oh gosh, how many times do we talk about Bad Batch. There you go. I knew it was something. I was like, clones. I can't. So I remember it's like we were watching Bad Batch, and there are so many things. We just honestly, at some point, we're like, I think this is. Oh yes. Oh, the Cody thing. There's going to be Cody.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's got to be
Cody.
something. There's got to be
well,
something
maybe
with
Tech. Because they only found a helmet. And nothing about Tech.
Yeah, nothing.
They kept baiting and switching to the point that you become a bit, a bit tired of it.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, callous to it. And it's just, so anyways, with Ahsoka, we were expecting to hear maybe like who's going to be Stevenson's replacement because, unfortunately, I don't think it's one of these things where they could just ignore the character. And say, oh, well, he's not there.
No, the character of Baylan Skoll is, according to Filoni, very integral to the plot of Ahsoka moving forward. So now we have heard that they have planned on recasting the role.
Yes.
Because, again, it is so integral. And sadly, Ray Stevenson did pass away last year. I believe in May, a couple weeks after Star Wars Celebration in London. So, and that's sad in and of itself. But for the plot to move forward, they are having to recast the role. So, but what this means, however, though, for Star Wars as a whole, with Ahsoka only entering production in the summer of 25, we're probably not going to see it until 26.
Mm-hmm.
Which also means the only Star Wars that is currently slated for 2025 is season 2 of Andor. So, everybody enjoy Skeleton Crew and enjoy Andor because nothing else has been announced.
I'm still on episode of I started watching episode 4. I made it 10 minutes of Andor. It's episode 4, and then I thought of something better to do. Now, I'm not saying that I hated it. It was just like, oh, I've got something else that needs my attention, taxes or something. I had to kind of pull away. And even though I was listening to a very interesting conversation, I don't know. I am going to finish that series.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to make it the goal to have it done before the end of this year.
Well, you better have it before 25.
I guess so. I need, in order to spend the next 2 years watching the second Andor series.
Yeah, there you go.
But at least in the second one's going to probably have, we'll introduce K2SO.
Yes.
So that'll be fun. You get some.
Alan Tudyk is coming back as K2SO. He has confirmed it.
So that'll be fun. But maybe he'll give him a slap. Like he did.
And another one for good measure.
So we're looking, and that's the problem with the Ahsoka thing is that we just don't know is much about it, and we don't know where the plot of this lies in the Mandalorian Grogu movie.
Yes.
Because will it be before or after? And
because the movie is slated for May 4th.
Not May 4th, right? So
May 21st, 22nd, somewhere there. But of 26, yes. Yeah.
So, and then what that means basically is, and unfortunately, I'm starting to think in my head as time goes on that this is probably not going to happen before Grogu. And Mandalorian, because they don't need Ahsoka or anything to push a plot forward for them. And I think that's the case. Now, whether Disney sees the movies as a separate entity versus the TV series or the Disney Plus series, well, that's another thing. But I have a distinct feeling that because Filoni is in charge of this, Filoni's not going to get released from the movie until it's probably after principal photography or even as late as until about the time they do pickups.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he'll probably still be involved even during post-production.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like even then, but maybe he could step away a little bit because, you got to remember, he is working with Favreau. Favreau's no slouch,
No,
but
no,
they
not at all.
already have this vision that they're sharing together since the original Mandalorian series, until now. And so I'm just hoping that, I'm just hoping.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's why we titled the episode "A Brief Hope."
Yeah, I know. It is very brief. It's very brief.
And
right now.
on the switching gears here on the things about things being delayed. The bad news is Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse has also been delayed, switching over to Sony with their wonderful animated Spider-Verse movies. Now there's been some rumors going around that it was delayed even further into like 2027. Now we've heard from Christopher Miller, we've heard from the composer for the music that these
Daniel
rumors are not to be believed. Now, while the film was delayed because of the actors' strike, the writers' strike, it has not been delayed further. Again, this is what the writers have said, the composer of the music has said, and that things are coming along nicely with what they are currently doing.
Well, and according to Daniel Pemberton, the composer, Daniel said that they are still receiving clips to compose, to put the tracks on, to overlay, to so there has been no halt in production on their side. And then, like as Patrick said, Chris Miller has confirmed this, that everything is still going forward. Now, the original plan was that it was supposed to be out in 2024, but if they're already putting the music track down for the movie, it means that it's actually a lot further along, and we should probably not expect a delay to 2027. Oh my goodness!
No, not at all.
Boy, that is not what we want.
Years and some change. I mean, I honestly would expect at this point, like you said, they're putting the music to it. It probably might still need some post-production, some editing. I expect we'll see this movie early 26, around holiday of 25 at the latest, honestly.
Well, and I don't think there's any reason to expect any significant. I mean, obviously, with an animated film like this, it takes time.
Yeah. And I
mean, look at the Toy Story movies. How long does it take for them to come out?
Yeah.
I mean,
again, with the artistic styles that they use, because again, it's the Spider-Verse. So each different spider dimension has its own artistic stylings.
Yeah.
I mean,
the watercolors of Spider-Gwen,
Spider-Gwen,
the graffiti style art of
Spider-Punk.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their own art style in each place, plus, just the scope of what they were doing last time is fantastic.
Oh, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's artistically well done. It's beautifully well made. But I mean, to get there, though, like you said, a lot of editing, a lot of post-production. But again, so again, it was delayed, but it's not as delayed as we were led to believe, which is good. Which is good. Not to 2027, thank God, because that's 2.5 years. I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah. No, we don't want that.
No.
Definitely not.
And then, so apparently we also have some more good news. So what we've heard is Doctor Strange 3. Now, we don't have the title for what that'll be, but that is going to be our intro to Doctor Doom, specifically Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. This looks to be amazing. Again, this is a rumor. This is something we've heard through the grapevine, so to say. If it comes along later that this is a confirmed or it's disproven, we'll of course update that. But until then, hey, we might be seeing Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom a little bit sooner than we anticipated, because
Yeah.
apparently this movie is already in production.
Well, and the other thing is that we could share a couple of other rumors that are now. This is very rumor heavy for Marvel, you know. So we've already heard that they're saying that Doctor Strange 3 Intro to Doom. But speaking on the Doom front,
yes,
so there's a rumor, and this was on IMDb. So is that Robert Downey Jr. will be coming back for just those 2 movies, but that this could be an introduction to the to Doom as played by Mads Mikkelsen.
yes,
You know, so which would be, I mean, just look, I'm all for RDJ. I like RDJ. You know, I feel like
he's a good
I feel
actor.
weird saying
He's a good
that.
actor. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's fun. People miss him. They want him back. You know, and I'm sure also the exorbitant amount of cash which is lining his pockets makes him happy to be back.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, fat checks make anybody happy.
But at the end of the day, you know, I mean, Mads Mikkelsen as Doom. Oh my goodness.
I mean, that would be
stellar.
pretty cool. You know, if you guys have had the opportunity to watch Mads Mikkelsen in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, him play Hannibal from, I believe it was NBC's series Hannibal, which ran for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen is an amazing actor. He's done really great work.
Casino Royale.
Amazing job as the villain in the Bond film Casino Royale. I mean, he just came onto the scene, and he's a great villain. I mean, he's just a great villain.
Yeah,
he always brings his A game to it, no matter what it is.
And that's you know, gosh, you know, I was just thinking, I don't know why in my head, but I was like, you know, who else would be a good Doom? Wouldn't Christoph Waltz be good? but the problem is like you haven't seen much of him since Spectre. I think he's popped up here and there.
Yeah,
and I don't know why, but I love a Christoph Waltz. But yeah, anyways, Mads Mikkelsen would be fantastic.
Oh yeah,
as Doom, and you know, he's got that fantastic Northern European accent. He's got he's got a really good monotonous style that he can deploy. And you know, and Doom being kind of such an intellect hungry individual.
Oh yeah,
it just seems like a good match.
It really does, because like you said, I mean, he has the Northern European accent. Comic book speaking, Latveria is known to be a Northern European country. I mean, it fits. He could put a little, you know, spin on it. And I mean, like you said, boom, perfect Doom.
No, but that's the thing. So, I mean, the problem is now it's just conjecture and think. I mean, could it be because there's the storyline where, you know, Victor Von Doom basically takes over the body of Stark, you know, and becomes Doom that way, you know, and vice versa, you know, so they swap brains, you know, so that Doom can use the political influence of Stark, you know, and eventually, you know, it comes full circle. It's an interesting storyline in the comics, you know, where Tony Stark, even though he loses his memory of who he is, still somehow climbs to the upper echelon, becomes Doom, but an Iron Man version of Doom.
Yeah.
You know, and he and a Doom version of Iron Man, if you can keep up with that nonsense, have a fight. And, you know, it's really, really kind of a cool storyline. I don't know. There's this one, and I can't remember what the other one is, but either one could be the possible idea or, you know, inspiration for this change. So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not the only news that's kind of come out.
No, not at all.
So
not at all, because
there is another rumor, and we're just gonna pop it up. Take it with a grain of salt, though.
Again, grain of salt, guys. So real big. Nicolas Cage, Wesley Snipes, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, and Tobey Maguire have all agreed to return for Avengers Secret Wars. Now, as an added bonus, and I just saw this, so we don't have the article handy, Halle Berry has also chimed in on returning as Storm from the X-Men movies.
I was worried for a second, but now now everything all's right with the world.
But she has, she has said if she has agreed to it or not. Again, don't have the article at the second. That literally came while we were kind of in the middle of the show here. So, but again, this is a huge rumor if it is true. Yes. This is groundbreaking. This is a chance for Marvel to literally tie up every loose end of every movie that's been made, even remotely affiliated with Marvel.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I know we have a new Blade coming out, so I mean, and then the question is Evans going to return as Storm or Captain America? However, what I'm excited with is that we will have a version of Ghost Rider back on this scene. And what would be really kind of awesome is, I just love it. I like a Ghost Rider. I'm not saying it's like my favorite comic or anything, but I just love the the motif of Ghost Rider is just cool enough in multiple versions. So Nicolas Cage being what he is and who he is and where he is, and I don't know, in space, I think, he obviously is. It would be nice just to at least have the character.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm aiming for.
Oh yeah. And again, like you said, I mean, this is a lot of people returning. I mean, if you bring it back up real quick, I mean, we could have Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Wesley Snipes' Blade. Even with Chris Evans, could he be returning as Johnny from the Fantastic Four from a different timeline, or even Captain America from a different timeline, and then Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider? I mean, this is already a stacked cast of cameos that we can expect from Avengers Secret Wars.
Well, and that's where we have to leave a lot of hope.
There you go.
In the end, this is still just a rumor. But it would make sense for Avenger Wars, especially. I mean, they're really pulling into the variants thing. They're going to keep doing that, and that's hopefully where the Avengers Secret War and all of this will finally end that timeline, and we can get down to a base timeline again, where you have you have mutants, you have magic, and you have your core group of superheroes again.
Yes, exactly.
Because I think the problem is that just especially since it came off to not a great start. The whole multiverse thing has been kind of a little sour for me.
Yeah,
so I'm ready to just have.
It has not had the love that led up to Infinity War or Endgame. Definitely hasn't had the same hype. Yeah, definitely hasn't had the same love. I mean, I think the what has renewed that love, so you say, would be the Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Yeah. I mean that it's given Marvel a chance to breathe a bit of fresh air, with the idea that now we can do whatever we want. I mean, technically, I think, no slight spoilers, that Deadpool and all of that are still not on the prime Earth. So we don't know where that's going to lead. Yeah, and we know from the end credits of the movie that Gambit survived. So we can have Gambit as well. Yes, which I know Channing Tatum seems to be.
Stoked. He's all in on it. He is all in on that character. He's been trying to play Gambit for years, and he loves playing Gambit. Loves playing it. And I'm all for it. I'm all for Channing Tatum playing Gambit.
Yeah. No, he was fantastic in the movie.
Oh, he was great. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people have criticized his Cajun accent. He has said that that's what the director wanted. He would come up to him and be like, okay, I want to be able to understand you. And then he'd come up to him other times, I want you to say gibberish.
Yeah.
You know, so if anything, that just goes to show how great of an actor Channing Tatum is, giving the director what he's asking for.
Yeah, I mean, everybody can forget G.I. Joe.
Yes.
So, I mean, he has his talents. I mean, he is talented. He is an actor. And that's the thing we have to remind ourselves. And he's just playing up on a trope.
Yeah.
You know, he's playing up of a trope of, of a Cajun, deep in the bayou.
Yeah.
That's not an accent, by the way. That's just me saying it weirdly. In the bayou and just, speaking incoherently, I mean, check it out. I mean, did anybody else see The Princess and the Frog? I mean, it is a trope. So
it is definitely a dialect.
Jim Cummings is Ray. That was his whole shtick in that movie. And
on the topic of Disney, it looks like House of Mouse has made some changes of late.
So we're going to try to put out a little bit of an extra show at some point soon. Talk about a lot of the changes that have gone on in the last year. In about a year's time, they're talking about there's about 11 big things that have gone away.
Yeah.
And just almost like an in memoriam for those things. I'd like to talk about it. I mean, for example, the one that kind of got me peeved a little bit, though I haven't seen the new show, is maybe so I'm just concerned. Is the Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah.
And it's not for any like or want of myself. It's just I know my dad loves that one bear is sing blood on the ground, doing that at interstitials within the show.
Yeah.
And I fear that he's gone, and I'm like, oh, you stink, you bear nappers, you take the bear away. I mean, I still see him out like on some of the things,
Yeah, you're really upset about that bear, aren't you?
I'm upset about that bear. There will be blood on the ground if there is no bear singing.
If there's no bear to be found, right?
If that bear, whatever his name is, Lord knows, I don't even remember.
But I know the one you're talking about. about.
Yeah, he'd sit there with his little jug, I believe,
Yeah, his little jug with the X's on it.
Okay, well, anyway, and then everybody would come back to the show.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, So,
but again, we're gonna cover that and then some in a future video. Talk about everything else going on with the changes that have been made. But in other news, with the House of Mouse, they are currently being sued. Disney is being sued by Tyburn Film Productions over Peter Cushing's likeness from Rogue One. So, and this is a article that was just published yesterday. Like, that's what's crazy. Like, this is finally moving forward in a trial at a later date. Everybody, you gotta understand, Rogue One came out in 2016. I mean, that's a while ago. I mean, that's 8 years ago almost.
Well, we also have to remember that Disney, I'm sure, with its platoon, I mean, I think I'm undershooting it here, of lawyers and legal representatives.
Oh, it's a battalion of lawyers.
Not to speak ill of the mouse. We are big supporters here.
Yeah,
but let's face it, it is a company, and companies do company.
Oh yeah,
and and I mean, Disney has just recently kind of, I think, gotten a little out of the limelight for the whole thing about trying to get a petition, a case thrown out because an unfortunate lady who died eating at their Irish pub in Disney Springs having an allergic reaction and passing away.
Yeah.
And it was something about on the grounds that they had a Disney Plus membership.
Yeah, the husband of the woman had signed up for a Disney Plus trial membership. So it wasn't even a full membership. It was a trial membership that he had signed up for back in like 2019, 2020. And they tried to get the case thrown out on the grounds that he had a Disney Plus membership. Therefore, he had waived any rights to take Disney to court, and that they must arbitrate, which is to settle out of court. So again, this is definitely, you know, like you said, companies are going to company, you know. So this is something else that's clearly gotten some recognition here. Apparently, Tyburn Film Productions started this lawsuit a while ago.
Yeah.
Because of Peter Cushing's likeness used in Rogue One, which was, you know, CGI'd. And what has happened, though, is we have seen that, you know, they say that they own Cushing's likeness. Because before, you know, Peter Cushing passed away in 1994, he agreed to give this London-based company his likeness. Now, they started the lawsuit in 2022, and Disney tried to get it thrown out. That failed. Then they tried to do an appeal, and that has also failed. So this is now finally moving to trial, you know, 2 years after the lawsuit's even been filed. Now, my question is, why wait 6 years to finally sue? I mean, Rogue One, you know, out of what Disney has come out with, was a huge hit. A masterpiece of Star Wars cinema. Really, as I've heard other people claim, put the wars in Star Wars. And, you know, I mean, but why wait 6 years to then make a lawsuit about it?
Well, I mean, you know, the question is that, you know, because it has some legality based on the idea also, I think, of the character Tarkin versus Peter Cushing.
Yes.
Then, you know, but the thing is that to what level do they own the likeness? Do they own the likeness of Peter Cushing, you know, in video, or do they own the likeness of Peter Cushing in, you know, in other formats or other digital formats, you know? And then who has the rights over it? I mean, does Disney have, I mean, you know, there's a lot of who, what, and when's, you know, because I know it probably in 1994 when Cushing passed away, nobody was intending for AI to exist or for computer graphics. I mean, at that point, we were just getting the first Jurassic Park, you know, and a few other things. It did not look that good.
No, you know, not that good at all.
So, but I mean, you know, did he give the rights to say, hey, Disney can use it in terms of, you know, the Star Wars movies? You know, does that supersede the contract he made prior to his passing with Tyburn? I mean, you know, and this is going to become a whole point because actually, as I'm, you know, we were talking about it, James Earl Jones, you know, has given him permission to use an AI version of his voice.
And again, that was done in 2022 after the Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi show ended. James Earl Jones officially retired as the voice of, you know, Darth Vader. And he told Disney, like, hey, you know, go nuts, use it how you want to.
Yeah.
I'm retired from it. And he gave them permission, you know, knowing Disney, they probably have it in writing, in triplicate, like, and they'll happily show it if you ask for it. And more than likely they paid him for that. I mean, you know, probably a very nice sum of money at that.
And then that's what we're going to see, you know, which one trumps what, because, you know, according to, you know, Lunac Heavy Industries, that, you know, Lucasfilm claims that they had the right, since the contract for A New Hope, to use his image, you know, so we'll see what the court, you know, so the judge is not willing to let this go. So that obviously we're going to have to wind up having a legality thing of who owns what, and is it based off of when you signed a contract? So that would have been in 1976 or 75, maybe even earlier, with Cushing, whenever he came on board New Hope, so, and then you're talking about another 20 years later, here's another company that is, well, I mean, that's when he passed away. I mean, so who knows when this Tyburn technically owns the right,
Yeah, exactly.
So, or it might be in here if I looked, but not right now.
Yeah.
And but I mean, so again, yeah, we're looking at an interesting thing. So this is just popping up. We wanted to make sure everybody kind of heard about this. But again, like we said, Disney's going to Disney. Disney's a company, but if you guys are looking to maybe visit Disney,
yeah,
what about a segue there? That's
But yes, and again, that leads it perfectly to our sponsor, Carter's Wondrous Journeys. If you are looking to visit Disney and maybe, I don't know, look into some of these AIs, maybe they're using them for some of the rides, please contact.
They're always updating Star Tours.
Exactly.
You might just bump into Peter Cushing out there in space.
There you go. But yeah, please, by all means, again, this is a shout out to our sponsor. Thank you for sponsoring this video, Carter's Wondrous Journeys. If you are looking to get a guide to help you plan your next wonderful vacation to Disney or Orlando or anywhere really, Carter's Wondrous Journeys is your best bet at getting a well-booked, written travel vacation experience.
Yep. All right. So just wait 1 second and you'll get the details.
Yep.
Have you ever dreamt of stepping into a world of wonder, magic, and adventure? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dream no more, because Carter's Wondrous Journeys is here to make those dreams come true. Imagine setting sail on a luxurious cruise, gliding through the sparkling seas, or stepping into the enchanting lands of Disney, Universal Studios, or other spellbinding theme parks. At Carter's Wondrous Journeys, we specialize in crafting perfect vacation packages tailored just for you and your loved ones. Whether it's the thrill of a roller coaster at Universal Studios, the magical realms of Disney, or the aquatic adventures of SeaWorld, we've got it all. So why wait? Step into a world of magic and adventure with Carter's Wondrous Journeys. Email today and let us turn your vacation dreams into reality. Carter's Wondrous Journeys, your gateway to the ultimate magical experience. Email us at carterswj@gmail.com. That's Carters, carterswj@gmail.com. Email us today. Also, look up Carter's Wondrous Journey on Facebook. Like and follow our page for more.
Okay.
So yeah, guys, just contact carterswj@gmail.com or go on to Facebook and message Carter's Wondrous Journeys for your free quotes or to consult with an agent. Remember, agents are free, so you're not paying anything extra to have somebody help you out. So also, Carter's Wondrous Journey has been releasing some videos that are designed to kind of inform families a little bit more about their trips, especially with the young ones. So please pop on by, check those out, enjoy. I hear they're quite funny.
They are a hoot. But again, yeah, and there's no problem in just seeking a little help or getting clarification on what you can expect on your vacation. So if you have any questions, like you said, just stop on by, give them a shout, and hopefully they'll be able to help you out. Other than that, did we have anything else today?
You know what? I think we've been kind of sitting on. Let's just talk about this last one a little bit on game news, and then we'll stop there.
Well, we have two things in game news. So we have something bad and we have something good. Okay. So the bad news, because bad news first, guys. Concord. Let's talk about it.
Oh.
Okay, let's talk about it. It's been in development for 8 years. It was recently released around 2 weeks ago, and it did not do good whatsoever. It did not do good. This is an original IP by Sony, and it went horrible. Apparently, Sony spent over $100 million making this. And like I said, it was out for 2 weeks, and they've pulled the plug on it. They shut down the servers, and they have refunded every player that bought it.
Oh yeah, it was a spectacularly low number of players that had hopped on. So it was from all accounts. I don't even play games, and I've heard about this. Is just it was bad.
Yeah. So I mean, in all reality, I think by the end of it, it had maybe 54 consecutive players at a time. And let me tell you, when you're making a live action hero shooter, that's nowhere near where you want to be, especially after 8 years of development, millions of dollars spent on this. That's not what you want. We haven't heard anything. Maybe Sony is trying to rebrand it. They'll come back out with it.
Well,
but
we do know that, this was actually, so we've talked briefly about the show that's coming out, the Secret Level
series.
And Concord is supposed to be in there. Secret Level is supposed to have a whole bunch of different video game IPs that are having their own little extra, segment. Something similar to Robots and Love and Death, I believe that's what it's called. Love, Death, Robots.
Death, Love, and Robots.
And so it's basically similar to that, but with video game IPs. And one of them is Concord, and but they said it will remain in the show. So it might give some rise to believe that Sony is possibly trying to rebrand and relaunch, but the problem is after a failure, a crash and burn that big, I don't know if there's another way to do it other than possibly release it as free content.
But at that point, that's a total net loss.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's a lot of money and a lot of that they're eating, and PlayStation 5 can't be eating that kind of money.
Well, no,
Sony can't.
Not right now. But again, yes, this is a complete disaster for Sony. Again, I reiterate, hundreds of millions of dollars on this game, and 8 years in development. Other games could have been being developed, and it did 2 weeks. It didn't even get a full month of livelihood before it was pulled from the servers. It's been pulled off the store. And like you said, they're still featuring it in the Secret Level anthology series that's going to be on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
The good news, because again, there's good news. That was the bad, is Warhammer Space Marine 2.
Oh my goodness.
Open to 2 million players.
Yep.
It is doing amazingly well. Really good, really great. It has skyrocketed in sales. I'm even already hearing whispers for Game of the Year. It has done extremely well. And the weird thing is, guys, the regular edition of it literally came out 2 days ago. As of when we are recording this, Space Marine's release date for everyone was 9/9/2024. And it has skyrocketed. It has skyrocketed.
Yeah. I remember, I've been talking about this, as I remember playing the original Space Marine game ages ago on Xbox 360, you
Yeah,
know,
back in
and
2011.
yeah, was it 2011? Yeah, because I remember it was ages ago, and I remember playing the game, you know, because I've always been a Warhammer 40K kind of person. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm big onto the lore. I just enjoy it, and it was a fun game, you know. It really was. Yeah, but man, it took this long to get a game out. I mean, you're talking about 13 years before the next release.
Yeah, a
But I
long
mean,
time.
I tell you what, you know, if because you got to also remember what else. There's also the talk of the Henry Cavill series, you know, that they're going to put out at some point
on Amazon Prime as well. But even closer is, we mentioned Secret Level. Warhammer will also have a short
that's right.
in Secret Level. So while Concord is going to also be there, there will also be a Warhammer short. We don't know what it'll be about exactly, but it will take place in the Warhammer universe.
Yeah, so I think we're looking at the fact that Warhammer 40K between you know, this year and next year is going to be having a fantastic year.
Oh,
plus, you know, the overall cost of just playing the game anyways is already expensive. I mean, the tabletop one, you know, I mean,
yes, the tabletop. But I mean, it seems to be going through its golden age. And apparently, many are saying the game did so well because it stuck to the lore of the universe.
Yeah.
It didn't try to do anything subversive. And honest to God, I mean, I can't argue with the results. I mean, 2 million players, and it's been out 2 days.
Yeah.
I mean, that's astounding. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, again, as long as, and you know, and all reports of the gameplay itself that I have seen are reporting that it's fun. You know, I mean, what else can you say?
It seems like a fun game.
It's a fun game. It's beautiful. It's imaginative, and you know, a lot of times, you know, what winds up happening is you have an interesting IP. You know, because I don't know if beautiful is what I would call Warhammer 40K.
I would call it bloody.
Yeah, I mean, it's space gothic. I mean, you know, but the thing is that, you know, when you have an IP where they let them be who they are.
You let them cook.
You let it do what they're gonna do, and you don't try to put too many notes on them. You know, that's the key to success.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and it's like we said, you can't argue with results. I mean, it's been out 2 days, 2 million player base in 2 days. I mean, that's unheard of, unless it's like Call of Duty or other quadruple A or AAA games from big name studios. I mean, this is from Saber Interactive, who, like you said, they came out with the first Warhammer game 13 years ago. They obviously have taken their time on Warhammer Space Marine 2, and it has paid off. I mean, this is a beautiful game. It's got co-op, it's got versus modes, it's got a campaign, and for all intents and purposes, it's just a very well-made game right off the cut. And it's like you said, if you let an IP just be itself, let the IP do its thing, and let them cook, you can get some amazing results out of it.
Yep. And, you know, I mean, and there's a bigger topic to this that maybe we'll discuss in an additional video, or even the next time, is just this whole thing. Concord is one of them. To a lesser extent, the Star Wars Outlaws.
Yes.
You know, even though I know you played it, you said it's a really fun game.
Oh yeah.
And there's we'll get into it because we're unfortunately low on time.
Yeah.
But you know, there's this whole thing about expectation versus delivery.
Yeah.
And you know, Space Marines just came out. You know, it says we're coming, guys. We think it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
But when you have like the hype of some of these others, that's not, you know, it becomes like, is the investment worth it?
Exactly.
And
Like
yeah.
it comes down to expectation versus the reality behind it.
Yeah.
If you hype something up so much and make it sound like the best thing since sliced bread,
Yeah.
people are going to be extremely excited because, and I get why, you know, you're a business, you're trying to bump up pre-orders, you're trying to bump up numbers, and you're trying to sell your product.
Yep.
But at the same time, if the product comes out and it doesn't live up to the hype, then it gets dragged absolutely in reviews
Yeah.
by different groups, by people on YouTube. I mean, even now we're dragging Concord because they
Mhm.
hyped it up. It came out and people were
Yeah.
like, you made a video
Oh,
game that's an
yeah.
Overwatch clone.
And yeah, and all it does is, then everybody plays the blame game.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, well, we didn't know it was like this.
oh,
Okay, you spent 8
oh,
years in development.
all the dirty laundry that's getting brought out about
Oh, yeah.
Concord right
Yes.
now. I mean, we talked
There's a
about it. We
lot.
decided not to go in there too far with that.
Yeah, we may do that in a future video, but I mean, there's a lot coming out about
Yeah.
why this game turned into what it was, why the characters are who they are,
Yeah.
and it's a lot to unpack. I mean, even now we're kind of shifting through it, and you know, I'm over here looking at Carter, he's looking at me, and it's like this is a lot, man. This whoa, you know, it's like there's a lot going on here, you know. But again, we may cover that in a future video. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's been a week, guys. I mean, we've
Mhm.
lost the great James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
We're finding out more and more, you know, on things changing, getting
Mhm.
delayed, people getting sued, Disney getting sued, you know.
Yeah.
But again, as always, I'm Patrick,
I'm Adrian.
and we'll catch you later on the next video.
All right, nerd love, folks. Okay, thank you
Nerdy
very much.
heart.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe,
Ring that bell for
please.
more if you like the
Ring it,
content.
ring it. You know you want to hear me scream.
Take it easy, everybody. Love you guys.
All right, bye, guys. Peace.
Bye.